Hello, and welcome to another edition of Droppin' Bombs with me, your host, Corey Baumeister, as always with the lovely folks here at TCGplayer.com. That's right, you're seeing things correctly. Yes, I am immersed into this battlefield, yes, but also, we're playing Modern. That's right. I know we got some Modern lovers out here in the Dropping Bombs family, so I wanted to take a little break from Standard. Now that, well, let's get real. It's getting a slightly stale because we've had this format for a long time. So I want to take a break and switch it up and give you some of my favorite Modern decks over the last few seasons over the next couple of weeks. So we're starting it off with Sam Pardee's fantastic Grixis Death Shadow list. I think this list is awesome. Everything I've kind of been thinking about the format, Sam really compiled into one beautiful deck. Like, I've been thinking how great Leyline is in the format. Here's 4 of them. I've been thinking just how good Dismember is right now in Death Shadow. Boom, in the deck. I've been thinking how much they really want a different creature in the deck, maybe something that has a little bit more staying power. Boom, Jace is in the deck. Sam Pardee is a genius, allowed us to play 4 great games, 4 great matches. We played against Tron, Phoenix, and we even played a couple shadow mirrors of different varieties here. So you can fast forward to any of the matches with any of the hyperlinks below. You can also take a peek at my article at TCGplayer.com. I will have a short write-up along with a sideboard guide for the 4 most popular decks in the format here. Modern's so diverse, it's so hard to build a sideboard guide for everything, but I got some of the big matchups at least. Stay tuned and enjoy the games. All right, everyone, welcome to the games here. Okay. So we're playing some Grixis Death Shadow, taking a little break from Standard, trying to dive into Modern here. We are on the play, but unfortunately I think this hand is close. But I do think it's a mulligan. 4 lands is pretty rough. Usually that 4th land is pretty much a mulligan anyways. Plus this hand, you know, maybe if this was like a Thought Scour or something where we could actually get one of these threats out early, it would be much better. But since it's not, there's nothing we can really cast on turn 2 as far as threats. Unless they play a creature that we could dismember. It's a little sketchy, but honestly, it's very close here. But we're going to mulligan this one. I'm not happy about it, but this one's great. This one's great. We're going to keep this. A Fatal Push, huh? We're going to bottom it. We want to cast something on our turn 1 anyways here. So we are just going to... we'll cycle to see what we get first. We might, more than likely, just going to Thought Scour. Yep, and that's going to be the play. Thought Scour during their turn. See what's going on. All right, what's our opponent up to? Tron! This can be a tough matchup. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Normally it's supposed to be pretty solid, but it can still... Tron can still do some Tron things here. Alright, that helps. I mean, getting ourselves very low quickly and battle raging them is one way to sneak around. So here, we almost always want to start with Bobble. And we are going to peek at ourselves. See what we want to draw. Alright, so a Thought Scour. Something that I'm not necessarily hyped about. So I think I would rather just get threats into play. And we can actually play both of them here. We can play Death Shadow and Angler. The Death Shadow would only be a 1/1. But, you know, if we can find something nice off the top... to maybe have us take a little bit more damage, that would be great. If not, just casting Jace is pretty solid as well, but I would rather get the threats into play first. So, we're going to sacrifice this, and we'll have a Bobble trigger waiting for us here. God, I love Death Shadow. This deck is just so absolutely good, and just so much fun. So, alright, so we're going to Angler here. Looks like we're going to be able to keep 1 card in the graveyard. And I think we would rather keep the Thoughtseize. Be able to maybe flip Jace and Thoughtseize our Tron opponent at some point. It's probably going to be okay. But our opponent kept 7, played a map on 1. We're more than likely looking at them already having their hand set up. So we draw a card. Bloodstained Mire is great. It looks like we'll have a 2-turn clock here. I don't think there's a way to kill him next turn unless maybe we get a Dismember. So that deals 3. Puts our... Dismember would put it to... Well, never mind. Alright. Well, that's a pretty good draw. We can Thoughtseize our opponent to see if maybe they don't have the kill set up. Or we could Jace's Vryn's Prodigy. But if we're attacking him for 5, then we attack him for 5 next turn. We won't be able to kill next turn. So we might as well try to disrupt this turn. So we're going to attack. Just hope they don't have a Karn. But I mean, I guess if Karn is their only threat, we can deal with that. So we're going to sacrifice this. Go get another Watery Grave. Okay. Cast the Snap of the Caster variety. Do some Thoughtseize. And see what our opponent's up to. So they do have Tron, as well as Chalice of the Void. And a Remand. Blue Tron, huh? Well, their cards are not that important. I think Remand is actually worse for us. Also because I think they're going to try to Chalice on 1. Just because that's a very common thing to be doing against Grixis Death Shadow. I think both of our spells are going to be safe. I'm just going to take the Remand. And now if I had a lot of 1-drops, of course I would be taking Chalice because Chalice is the more important, more scary card. But since they don't have anything gigantic, unless they have the Soul Read, that Chalice for 2 is better here. I think we're in a pretty good spot. Obviously, they can just top deck Karn right now and just slap us in the face, but... Unfortunately, this is only 12 damage, so we do have to find a way to sneak through the last 3. As of now, we don't have any true way to do that. And I mean, yeah, if they Chalice on 2, that kind of sucks because then we do have a 3-turn clock, so then they have plenty of time to try to find something. Blue Tron, huh? That's an interesting one. I hope y'all like the little green screen action here. I thought it was pretty cool. I wanted to transfer it to the Droppin Baums. Chalice on 1, kind of like we'd expect. Stubborn Denial is a great card. Absolutely great. So this allows us to play Jace this turn and Battle Rage next turn. Oh, Stubborn Denial actually does just get countered with Chalice. Sorry, that is oversight on my part, but we still will have lethal. Yeah, we'll still have lethal. So Chalice is gone. More than likely they're going to Tron up now. Now something like Tron land, Ugin, we just can't beat. There's nothing you can do, but... Okay. Thirst for Knowledge, not too big of a deal. Alright, they discarded a map, so we know they still have Field of Ruin, but that's their only known card. So there's definitely a chance that this this play doesn't exactly work out. We're just going to draw, since we have these dead cards. Jace isn't going to do much anyways. So we'll get rid of this. Now we're going to attack and go for it here. There's no reason not to. Okay, so they have Contortions in their deck. So that makes me not want to try to strap it to this. They could have Dismember here, but it's worth going for. And that's game! That's game! Crowd goes wild. Or I go wild. One of the two. Alright, so against Tron. Fatal Pushes are bad. So we want to get those out. This list doesn't have a ton for this matchup, to be honest. But Abrades, Kolaghan's Commands, they're great. Especially great against the blue version where the Destroy Target Artifact thing is actually relevant. Besides just trying to get a map or something lucky like that. We'll bring in this Disdainful Stroke. But other than that, the sideboard cards are not very good. So we can take out one more card. I would like Teamer Battle Rage. Jace's Vryn's Prodigy is okay. Flashing back Thoughtseize's late game is pretty decent. I suppose Dismember is the next worst card. We can aim it at one of our own creatures to make Death Shadow bigger, but that's not very relevant. So I think this is the changes that we'll make. Yeah, looks great to me. Game 2. Let's try to 2-0 the Tron Menace here. Okay, this hand's pretty solid. We'll be able to get our Death Shadows down very early. We have some disruption, as well as a Jace to maybe flash back Thoughtseize on turn 3. As early as turn 3, you get that stuff going, and it's actually quite easy. So this is a great hand. Now we hope that, yep, they didn't have the map, which they did not. I think we'll start with a cycle, because we would like to get red mana with this Bloodstained Mire if we have a choice. Now that we have red, we just want to thin out our deck and go get that Watery Grave. Now that we have red, Watery Grave is the best land in the deck, so it's what you should always prioritize. But a close second is the Blood Crypt. Okay, so that is 2 pieces of Tron. A Repeal, which is pretty good. Mindslaver, which takes a long time to set up, so I don't think we're too worried about that. So this is going to put us to 13. Another 2 would put us to 11, which would be putting us in range of Spatial Contortion. So Contortion is a hard removal spell, but Repeal draws a card, so I'd rather keep them off of a card right now, just because we don't care if they kill one of our threats. We have so many of them. There's that power plant. All right, there's another Delta. That's interesting. So that puts these up to 3/3s, which still does die to the Contortion, unfortunately. So let's think what we can do. We could... I think double Death Shadow is just the play here, because then one's going to die, and then next turn we can go Angler plus Jace. Yeah, that seems to be the play. We'll let him kill one of them. Well, that is 4. Yeah. It's either that or they get to kill Jace, which I would also like to not happen. So we have to get Blood Crypt. Death Shadow. Death Shadow number 2. Now they got to be pretty afraid of us having another Street Wraith. We could really get them. But I'm sure they just have to go for it. I probably would do the same, but I've held Street Wraiths to try to pump them up to like survive against lightning bolts and stuff like that, and I don't think it's that crazy. So be mindful of those plays when you're trying to kill Death Shadows, because you can really get blown out. All right, there's another land, so we can go get 6. Yeah, it's perfect. That was a perfect draw. So we can go get that Steam Vents here, take some more damage, and then cast Angler and Jace. We actually needed it to be able to do this play, so maybe our last turn wasn't the best, because I kind of didn't even consider it heavily, but the way this works out is just great. They're just dead next turn. Death Shadow is just so good. Yeah, so 6, 7, 8 for next turn. Nope. They're actually not dead. They'll be going down to 1. But we'll get Jace down. We'll get this Angler. There's some thought to just not playing Angler. Nah, this seems bad. Because all we got to do is deal ourselves 2 damage with whatever we draw. Deal ourselves even 1 damage. Even a Street Wraith or anything would do it. And then it's lethal next turn. Like right now, this is only 11, 12, 13 damage with dealing 2 from one of these. So, not the worst. Ooh, interesting. So 7, 8, 6. So decided that they're so far behind that they need to just find Urza's Mine instead. Okay, so they don't have to reveal that one. That's terrifying. So they have Mindslaver, but still no Tron unless they found it with the Supreme Will. They're getting thirsty. And now they may just be dead. Depending on what we draw. We can draw Thoughtseize, Street Wraith, Temur Battle Rage. I think that's our only outs right now to kill him next turn. But we do have 2 draws with Jays. And then even that, you know, then we're not dead. We just have to hope to fade some of their draws. All right, so there's the map. That can get them 6, 8 mana, so they still can't Mindslaver us. Or at least Mindslaver lock us. That's lethal. That'll do it. Kolaghan's Command, how could I forget about you? That's just enough. And that was... Nope, we didn't need that. We'll get rid of this. We'll take 2 here. We will attack for 13. And then we will finish them off with the Command of the Kolaghan variety. I would like you to deal 2 damage. And you discard. This deck is so busted. Sam Pardee is a genius. A party genius. Oh, and to just add to the sick brags, this was me finishing my league from yesterday. Trophy, no big deal. Everybody stay tuned for our second round. Right, round 2 time. Time to kill our opponent, but not before we kill ourselves a little bit first with Death Shadow here. So this one's interesting. I think it's a keep, just because we do have 2 ways to draw cards. As well as manipulate a little bit here. We are looking for a little help from the top of the deck because Island is not great here, but we're going to keep. Jeff Cunningham, also an insanely great player, but we did also beat them earlier, and he was on Izzet Arclight. So this is a matchup that I would like to play as well, and I would, you know, pretty safely assume that he is still on it. It is the de facto best deck in the format, but I do think it is not, without a doubt, the best deck. You know, I mean, I think everything is very close, and I think Death Shadow is definitely in the conversation because it does have that good matchup against Arclight. So, all right. So here we are going to bobble ourselves just to know. Well, that's not true. We are going to cycle first. Cycle again. Okay, now we bobble, because now we have the Sackland. And it is a Death Shadow. Interesting. Okay. I want a Death Shadow. And I probably just want to Stubborn Denial something. Ooh, never mind. Okay, so the bobble trigger is going off. So we can just go, we can't make a play anyway, so we might as well just go Bloodstained Mire, pass, draw the Death Shadow, and now we either have an answer to Metamorphose in the form of a 1-mana Stubborn Denial, or we Fatal Push a Thing in the ice. I would prefer they play Thing, because then next turn we can go Death Shadow or Angler plus Stubborn Denial backup, but if we cast nothing this turn, that's fine as well. Either way, I think we're sitting pretty strong, but obviously anything could happen. Now, is there any reason to counter this? I don't want a bunch of Arclight Phoenixes going into the yard, but I also am not going to have much to do with this mana here. This is tough. I think we want to counter this, just because this could fix their hand and get Arclights into the graveyard, and I think the Arclight plan is really the only way we lose here. Plus, if we Stubborn Denial here, it gives us access to Grammatic Angler. Gives us access to Angler next turn if we want to delve all our cards away, which is not nothing. We could play Jace as well, but they could just have a Thoughtseize to deal with that, so that's not very good. And we don't have any way to get any lower, so we can't play Death Shadow quite yet. I think it's just Angler and get the clock going here. Unfortunately, that island is really bad to draw, but not much we can do right now. So yeah, great reason to Stubborn Denial here to be able to guarantee we get this in play. They could, of course, have Lightning Axe, and this is not great. Or Set Adrift is also very good against us. That's kind of the new hot tech from these Arclight decks. And that looks to be the case right now. You can kind of tell when your opponent is delving. And if that's the case right now, this Set Adrift is going to be great. Unfortunately. So here we're just going to play Jace and pass. Hope it doesn't die. But yeah, that was quite a bad setback that we didn't want. It's just a couple lootings. If this is, I was going to say, if this is a Crackling Drake, we can find a sack land to deal with it with Fatal Push. But there's one Arclight. Alright. Now, if they have the Surgical, they have to just do it on something that they own. They don't get to see any information from us. And they probably do. I mean, otherwise there's no way to think about any play right now because they're tapped out. But they just want to get in the 3 damage, and frankly, I would love for them to attack. I would love to play a Death Shadow for free. Yep, so that is what they're doing. We are A-okay with that. Would you like to attack? Okay, bring the pain. Alright, that was a great draw. So, we can see what they're up to with a Inquisition. But we might as well... No, let's see what they're doing first. Just a Surgical, and then they're out of gas completely. Holy. Their hand is bad. Okay, well, now... I think we're still going to draw. So we're already going to 7 here. That's kind of the magic place to be. So I think we can actually get rid of this because this is already going to be a 6/6. We don't really need the double Fatal Push though, so we're going to get rid of that. Alright, so now we want to get our red source. We have Teamer Battle Rage in the deck, so we might as well get this. Slap a Death Shadow down here. And now, if we need to, we can Street Wraith. We'll see what our opponent does. If they decide to attack, it's pretty risky. Like, it's really risky for them. Because Death Shadow can just kill them in a number of turns here. But if they do draw like an Arclight, attacking with both of them is pretty scary. Puts us down to 1, and this would be a 12-12. But 12 is not 14, so... Okay, there goes the canal. Thing in the garbage. Okay, no big deal. Now let's do they want to attack? No, they say. Not a bad idea. So... Do we want this to flip is the real question here, and I don't think we care yet, so we're just going to draw. We're going to get rid of one of these. So we could go to 5, and then we're facing a little bit of sketchy territory. So we could just Fatal Push and then Angler. That's pretty reasonable. We're going to attack here. We want them to be on a 2-turn clock, but 6 plus 8 is 14. Okay, so we'll have them take 6. Now, we're going to do it like this. We're going to Fatal Push this first. Then we're just going to Angler. Angler everything away. Forcing the chump blocks next turn. We're not even going to play the land. Not quite yet. We'll see what they draw, because 7 is kind of the magic number against Arclight. 6 is very easy for them to kill you out of nowhere, but 7 gets to be a little tricky. So that's usually what I like to stay at. We're keeping these just in case. But, of course, we can be pressuring them. Okay, so we know their hand. They're getting completely flooded. So now all we got to do is draw an answer to this, and they're dead. That is not an answer. We will draw, discard. Now we are going to attack. They're going to block Death Shadow, so there's no point in us doing any of these spells. And once again, no point in us going below that magical 7 number, because there's still a chance that we could lose to Faithless Looting, Serum Visions, into Faithless Looting, into another Arclight. I mean, the deck snowballs its removal, or its card draw quite well. And, I mean, all it takes is one of these spells. I wouldn't be too shocked if an Arclight is back in play, even though their hand was just Mountain to start. You know, I mean, that's just how good and resilient Izzet Arclight is. That's what makes the deck so powerful, so. All right, Jeff, what are you thinking? Yeah, I've copied Jeff Cunningham's list plenty of times throughout my career. He's a phenomenal player. Snapcaster, huh? Okay. So that's pretty good. Targeting hit. Oh, they did hit the other Arclight. So what we were saying, the reason to hold back, we were, and another spell, like they're well and above. Well, I guess they did need this spell. Wow, okay. Okay, now if they have a bolt, we're dead. Yeah, they drew above expectation here. I mean, like I said, from that one Serum Vision, they could definitely do things, but this is a little extreme. This is a little extreme. So now we'll see what they go for as far as attacks here. Yeah, and they got it, right? Because we go to 2... and we could see what we got, but yeah, we're dead. All right, that's why it's the best deck in the format, right? I mean, that was an exceptional turn, but they were also drawing bad leading up to it, so it wasn't that crazy, realistically. Okay, what do we want here? Either Kolaghan's Command or Engineered Explosive here. I think I'm going to lean towards Kolaghan's Command. And then we have a lot of dead cards here in the form of... I really don't like Street Race against him. We really don't need any help dealing damage to ourselves. And then Temur Battle Rage is also not very good. So that's usually how I like to sideboard here. And then we pray for a Leyline. Leyline is the bee's knees. I would love to go first. No Leyline, but this hand is good, so we're going to keep it. This hand is definitely strong. But there's things we got to look out for. Alright, so we're going to start with the Thoughtseize. Mostly getting cards in our graveyard as well as seeing what they're doing. Thoughtseize. Bolt. Spell Pierce. Faithless Looting and Thought Scour, huh? Well, I think the most important cards, it's definitely not Bolt. It's probably not Faithless Looting. So I think it's Spell Pierce or Thought Scour. And I'm kind of leaning towards Thought Scour here because this just, it opens the door for their hand to do stuff. Where Spell Pierce is not that big of a deal, but Spell Pierce is still kind of annoying. So, yeah, we're going to get rid of it. All right, and then we'll ship it back. Alright, so pretty likely they just go Canal, go, and then Thought Scour during our turn. Same thing, essentially, there. Well, I think we'll go like this. Thoughtseize again. Okay, likely they're going to go for that Thought Scour now, and I think we're okay with that. Goes for the basic land. Which makes me think they not only brought in Blood Moon, but they probably have it. Arclight, Phoenix, Faithless Looting, Bolt. I got the Arclight, so that is, of course, obnoxious. But we'll just get rid of one of these Faithless Lootings. Say go, unfortunately, you know, not much action here. Even next turn, we can't cast an Angler unless we use this. So we're actually not sitting up that well, but this is kind of what we needed, right? Like, to put this in our graveyard so we can actually cast this, I think this is good. Okay, so Canal. They should have 4 cards we know about. I think it's these 4. Yeah, it seems right. Alright, well, that's a good card. So that is like a Dark Ritual, essentially. That adds 3 mana for this card. And there's another. So, now it's... Do we have any creatures in the yard for Kolaghan's Command? No. So I think we'll just take 2. We will Angler. Get rid of stuff we won't use. Redundant Thoughtseizes, so we don't want 2 of that card. We're going to put a Thought Scour in our graveyard. So I think we want to leave Fatal Push, Thoughtseize, and Denial, and we can't... We only get 1. I think Stubborn Denial is the most important. But it's close between Fatal Push, to be honest, because Thing in the Ice is a big deal. We'll leave the Stubborn Denial. Alright, and we'll say go. Now we got the clock at least. But I'm still afraid here, needless to say. Yeah, we should have got game 1 if it wasn't for an absurd, you know, I mean, they had 1 blue cantrip to play 3+ spells to get the 1 Arclight back. Well, in the meantime, they had to find another Arclight into their graveyard, and they actually cast a 4th spell. They had extras available. So this Arclight's gonna go into the graveyard. I actually think this is the one they cast. And a Leyline. So this. So they have Lightning Bolt, and I think that's the only card I know. Alright, so we're going to Thought Scours. We'd like to hit a creature in our graveyard. Ooh, or we'll hit a land here. That would be fine. I would play a Leyline. No such luck, nor a creature. So we'll just attack, say go. Could make them discard. None of that is ultra exciting right now. We might cast it if we have to here, but it can also just shock an Arclight. Obviously not exciting, but... Okay. Crackling Drake. Okay. Alright. So looting from the yard, meaning their hand is not that great. Discards 2 lands. So we still know about a Lightning Bolt. Very high chance. But this spell is just not good to cast right now, so we're not gonna. That's a good spell to cast. Get on in there. We hope they deal themselves 1 more damage with their land. And then Angler can be lethal next turn thanks to Kolaghan's Command. If If not, we'll just say go. Visions, that's a-okay. And if anything, Kolaghan's Command killing a Arclight, having them discard a card, obviously not the greatest, but still reasonable. Would have loved some of those Teamer Battle Rages we sided right out. Faithless looting from the yard. Yep, I don't think we're supposed to care about that. So there's another Arclight. Is that enough spells? Nope. Okay. I think they could have cast that lightning bolt in their hand and been pretty set. But since they didn't, I think we'll just untap. Okay. We're going to get in there. And now we can actually, with this land, Kolaghan's Command plus Fatal Push both of the Arclights if they do reach 3 spells. Okay. Is this worth countering? Probably not. Because even if they get the 3 spells and bring back the Phoenixes, we just kill both of them. Now there's 3 of them. And we know they have it, because they have another bolt in hand. We're actually not dead, though, so if they go for this, they die. So if they go for bolt to the face plus attack for 9, we get to take 1 with Polluted Delta, go to 8, down to 5 with the lightning bolt, kill 2 Phoenixes, go down to 2, and then attack back for the win. Set adrift. Well, guess we have to counter that. We'll see how many they attack with. If they attack with even 1, they die. Okay, they die with 3. Okay. Yeah, I think that was quite the bad play on their part. So we just go like this, take 6, and then crack back for lethal. Yep. I think that was a bad play. I think that was a bad play. If that were in my shoes, I would have just said go. I would have left all the Arclights back. If they try to kill him, cool. You know, if they have Battle Rage, just dead. But I would have played that differently from their side, and I think I would have won the game from their side. No big deal. I don't like Kolaghan's Command. I don't think it's very good. I think Teamer Battle Rage is probably just better. Just try to get him with the combo kill. I mean, they have Set Adrift and stuff like that, but I just don't think it matters that much. Kolaghan's Command didn't feel very good. So yeah, maybe it's just supposed to be 4 ley lines for 4 Street Wraith. Maybe even Street Wraith isn't supposed to come out. I'm really unsure how to sideboard this match specifically. Death Shadow is just a hard deck to sideboard. Just a hard deck to play and a hard deck to sideboard. But I think I got the playing part down pretty well with the deck. It's just the sideboarding that's a little trickier. Like, I understand all the lines and the sequences, which is half the battle, if not most of the battle. Okay, so Visions. Our hand's good. Once again, our hand is very good. We get to do some bobble manipulation here. Unfortunately, we're going to want to cast something regardless, so I don't know how much of a manipulation it is to do right now. So I think I'm just going to Thoughtseize, and maybe I just take a peek at their top just so I have perfect information. Yeah, I like that. Or I wait till next turn. Nah, I want some action. Scalding Tarn is on top. So they're top decking a land with this hand. So I want them to keep the thing because I'm going to kill it. So what don't I want them to have? Sleight of hand, maybe? No, maybe Snapcaster. I don't find Snapcaster to actually be that big of a problem most of the time, but it can be annoying. Metamorphose is probably just the pick. I mean, that's what allows them to do some crazy things. And they're top decking a Scalding Tarn. Alright. Then we'll draw a card off Bobble. Okay, way too many lands now. We did not need a single other one, and even another land now, and we'd probably just be dead. So we're going to 12 with this Death Shadow. Okay. Alright, pretty solid draw here. We're just going to kill this while we can. Now, unfortunately, we have to kind of risk that they don't draw a lightning bolt effect, and just kind of go for it here. Need to start a clock. Usually turn 2 is when you really want to throw a threat down there, and we got a good one here. If we can, we get Thoughtseize next turn or Fatal Push if they find another, if they find another thing in the ice. There's the Slight. So they don't have the Metamorphose or the Faithless Looting. Those are kind of the really important combo cards, but a Lightning Bolt here is very good. It's unfortunate. Dismember. Well, I think we just have to Thoughtseize them. Get their Snapcaster out of their hand, and then they're left with Arclight and something else. Which is still pretty bad for us just because we don't really have a follow-up here. We drew a few too many lands. Definitely not out of it yet, but maybe I was just a little hasty with the Death Shadow play. They didn't have an answer, so they had to find one, but they did have Sleight of Hand. Is either that or play nothing. I think the upside of them not having it, like I think the game was just probably over, but maybe it was not worth the risk. Set Adrift, huh? It's a good card. It's a really good card, but if we take the Set Adrift, they can just Snapcaster it, so we might as well take the Snap. So now we get the Snapcaster beats. Their hand is completely taken care of really here. Oh, all right. Now it's perfect. Probably going to discard both of those cards. Faithless Looting is so good. Okay, so they discarded... They didn't even discard the Phoenix? Okay. Setting Adrift that? Okay. Now, we can just Fatal Push it, which I think is what we want to do. We can just get a dual land into play tapped, and then push it here. Now we're at that unfortunate life total that is 6. So, unfortunately, that's obviously not good, but not much we can do. We're going to get the basic Swamp in case they do have Blood Moon. Alright, we'll go with the Fatal Push here. Boom. We really, really, really do need a Death Shadow here, though, unfortunately. This might Just, okay. I thought maybe they would set adrift us again. A Jace would be great, too. Death Shadow. That's it. Okay. That's presenting some stuff. So they're still at a lot of life, so we're not out of the woods by any means. Oh, and they just hit another Arclight. Yeah, if they can bring the Arclights back this time, we're probably dead. Oh, especially if this is a set adrift. Huh. Unless they don't have another spell. Okay, they got it all. Oh, God. Alrighty, that'll do it. Drats. Yeah, that game one was stolen from us, but here we just kind of had a Death Shadow draw. We didn't really draw the threats we needed. You know, we did draw that one Death Shadow, which maybe that was a mistake because that did end up costing us the game by them having the Lightning Bolt for it when in another time they wouldn't have had it. They did set adrift like a Snapcaster, so obviously they could have done that to a Death Shadow, so it's not like we would have been out of the woods. But yeah, anyway, stay tuned for round 3. And welcome back here. Okay, round 3. We won the die roll. Very fortunate in Modern. So we do have a good chunk of lands here. This is a little bit too many. Yeah, I think this is a mulligan, especially because we don't have all sack lands too. It's a very close mulligan here, but this hand is better. This hand's better, so it's a happy mulligan. So we are going to start with the Watery Grave here because we're not sure. Right now, you don't want to get the red-black land or the Steam Vents or the Blood Crypt right away because you really, you know, it's not the ideal land. What you want to start with is 2 Watery Graves. 2 Watery Graves are the first 2 lands you want to go for, and then get that third one for red later on, because we do only have 1 red card in the deck, and that's Temur Battle Rage, so you don't need to be super aggressive on it. Okay, so a Street Wraith is actually pretty good. Like, we would not mind a Street Wraith here. Yeah, I mean, it does. So this puts us to, this is 5, 6, 7. So, yeah, that still doesn't put us lethal. All right. We're going to bottom it because we do want a Thought Scour. And we don't want a Street Wraith in our graveyard, so that's why we bottomed. So, alright, green, black, could be anything, could be Dredge, probably a Death Shadow opponent as are themselves. Let's see who they targeted. Yeah, they probably targeted themselves, let's get real. That's kind of the sweet turn 1 play. Bobble yourself, do you like your card? No? Okay, use your sack line. Oh, you do? Don't use your sack line. What do we got here? Green, red. Jund Death Shadow? Oh, okay. Yep, the Jund Death Shadow list. I've seen these before. So it'll not be an easy match, that's for sure. Okay, well, with them attacking... Ooh, no. Understands the importance of not attacking into a Death Shadow. They made a great play because we would love for them to attack into this. Yeah, we can't do anything. Maybe we should have waited on our Thought Scour. They probably would have attacked. Alright, so Death Shadow Zoo. It's definitely an interesting matchup. Not really sure how this is supposed to go. I'm sure it's very close. Okay. I know they play stuff like Become Immense and stuff, and they're more kind of combo creature oriented. But I know they also have like Tarmogoyfs. So it's just bigger, better creatures essentially. Then we have better spells. We would love for them to attack. Alright. Okay. Well, at least we can do our stuff now. Alright, so blue, black. Black, red. Then play 3 Death Shadows. 3 3/3s. Your turn. Be careful of how much you deal us. But they could also have like Teamer Battle Rage for their Tarmogoyf. And just make that lethal that way. So there's more than likely we'd have to block. Now we could like Snapcaster and Thoughtseize them next turn to see what they're cooking with. Which is probably what we want to do, but we, you know, could lose badly to their creatures here. So, I kind of want to double block here. I think double block is the way to go. Because if they... Maybe it's just single block. Because if they Teamer Battle Rage, there's already an instant in the graveyard, so that's only 10. That's fine. If they become immense, and I double block, it's way worse. So I think it's just a single block. And they probably just say okay at this point. Yep. And then we're going to have to get the scoop of what they're doing with this Snapcaster. Because it's kind of a guessing game of what to play around unless we know. But if we get a sack land, you know, making 2 6/6s and one of them can have double strike, that's probably just what we go for. But yeah, they're probably going to strip our hand as well. Nope, okay. Okay. Interesting. Wow, okay. We're on. So what if we just attack with both of them? What can they block? So they're at 10. We'd have 12. So they can't just block with 2 Swift Spears. That is not in the cards. Okay. All right. I don't think we win this game by just holding back. So we're going to go for it. And they can really screw these blocks up here. But we can also screw them up. Yeah, I'm not really sure how this is supposed to actually end, but we're going to find out. Now, if this is the case, we probably just pump with the Bloodstained Mire once or maybe twice. And then just Snapcaster and... yeah, okay. We got a plan. I think we can safely take the damage. Okay, 9. I think 9 is fine. Because then we're going to have a Snapcaster. Oh, yeah, we're going to 7. Yeah, we better just go Swamp. Hit him like that. Yep. Okay. Thoughtseize their only card, which I'm just solidly betting it's become immense. Otherwise, their last attack was just really bold. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now we say go and hope they don't have anything too crazy. Wow, okay. I guess one lightning bolt will kill us. Or become immense. Ugh. Teamer battle rage. Alright, well they had to outdraw us. And they did. 4, yeah, we're dead. That's 2 game ones in a row that we get savagely outdrawn. Welcome to Modern. Okay, so Death Shadow. I'm guessing this is good. Our fatal pushes are going to be insane. They're just going to be the best card, essentially. Dismember is also pretty good. Jace is going to be pretty solid, because I'm guessing they don't leave in, like, lightning bolts. I don't like Teamer Battle Rage. EE is probably very good. No. I kind of like Liliana. Something's drawing me to Liliana here. I think it's good. As far as Stubborn Denials, we probably don't need the full set. Now, as far as Hand Disruption, I don't know if we want a full set either. I'm guessing Kolaghan's commands have got to be good as well. Maybe those for Inquisitions. Now, there might be some reason to try to go second in this matchup. I think Grixis Death Shadow Mirrors and Blue-Red Phoenixes, you're supposed to go second. So we're going to give that a shot. Not 1,000,000,000% if it's correct, but... This hand is great. This hand is great. Alright. Yeah, if they Thoughtseize and take our Bauble, that's kind of obnoxious, I guess. More just obnoxious. Okay. Yeah, it's crazy. You want to play your creature and not attack, so why do you have him in the deck? I don't know. Alright, this is another play where we're going to Thoughtseize no matter what, so we want to just bobble them for perfect information. Perfect information through their next turn. So Dismember. That's what they're drawing. So we're going to take the damage here, take the full. Okay. Well, I guess we'd rather they not draw not have more Death Shadows. Since that's the card that usually crushes us. I think if they just start getting aggressive here, it's pretty good for them. So they're going to play their D Shadow here. They're 1/1. Yep. Alright, they're getting on in there. We know Dismember plus land is their hand. I think we could have been in trouble here, to be honest. I think we just take the 2 here and just dismember this, but only pay 2. Yeah, I think we better now. Yikes. Really would love a fatal push. Fatal Push would be excellent. Worst case, we're going to 7 with the attack. Then we might have to take 3 with the Delta down to 4. And then we could kill one of them. We're going to need them to brick off a few turns, I have a feeling. Okay, so we still know their hand. So we don't have a mountain in the deck. But we know their hand. So we'll get the Blood Crypt here. Since we know their hand, we know this is safe, and we kind of just have to do it now. You discard, kill one of these. So now we lose to a lot of stuff once again, but not much we can do. I'm going to discard that Bloodstained Mire, I imagine. Fatal Push would be excellent. We're not dead right now. Okay. Well, now we have another chance to... Alright, this is actually going to work out pretty well. You... Make them discard that Dismember. Alright. We've stabilized, quote unquote. Alright, so we can go get the basic island to be able to cast this. And I think that seems worth it to me. Okay. Death Shadow Mirrors are just mind games, I feel. But we have definitely stabilized here, which I did not expect. Alright, we'll sacrifice this. Use up our last life point. All right. So we got a Jason there. Now, that's pretty much all we got going on for us. So we just have to say go. We can Snapcaster plus Thought Scour. And maybe Stubborn Denial if we get a chance. It's only a 4 spike, of course. A Goif. No, we have no way to answer that, so we might just have to EE. And then not cast Snapcaster, essentially. Yep. Dang it. Alright, so red, black, EE for 2. Of course, if they can counter this, we just die. Now we'll say go. We're going to have to do this during their combat. I don't see any scenario where they would actually play into anything here. Dang it. Yeah. We can't beat that. Dang. Well, I don't know. What can you do? What can you do? We had another game one where it was just absolutely brutal that we lost that. They had the top deck when we set it up perfectly. The problem with Death Shadow is you can get into these games where you set it up perfectly, but you can't stop the top of the deck, so there's never full control when it comes to this deck. Stay tuned. Let's hope we can get this 4th round. And welcome to our 4th round. All right, so I would love to go first. Ooh, yeah, this hand is good. This hand has it all. This hand has it all. All right, so we're going to start with a bobble. So we're going to target ourselves. Since we do have the ability to either wait or draw that card, we do want to draw it because it's another Street Wraith. We're going to do it again. All right, so now we're just going to cast an Inquisition, see what they're up to, and then hope our Death Shadow can carry us the distance here. All right, so mirror match. Can't wait. Well, we can get their bobble. I think their stubborn denial is more important. Yeah. Yep, we're going to take care of that. Because more than likely, with that being the case, we're probably just going to play Jace next turn. Jace is quite good. Left unchecked, of course. Bubble. I'm guessing they targeted themselves. Bloodstained Mire. Now they're going to be drawing a bunch of cards as well. Street Wraith. Bobble again. Yeah, they're pretty close to just being able to Angler on this turn, and that's bad. That is bad. Okay. So they drew a card. Now, it's one of those situations where we... Yeah, okay. So we're going to sack this. We're just going to play a Jace. We'll play Jace here. We'll play this Bobble. We're not going to sack it now. We're going to do it during their turn. See what they're up against, or see what they're up to, and then we're going to check out their library at the end so we kind of have a good grasp of what our next turn is going to look like, that we can kind of paint a picture. Ugh. Alright. Well, their hand is definitely developing, or is not... Or they just have a lot of cards in hand, and we kind of put all our eggs in a basket here. Okay. So they can go Angler and Death Shadow right now. That seems pretty good. I see no reason why they don't do that. Yep. And a Death Shadow, okay. So... Bolt is on top for him. That's relevant. Okay. It's a good draw. It's a good draw as well. So I think we will cast our own Death Shadow. We're going to sacrifice this. Get a Blood Crypt. And a Fatal Push theirs. And now we have the Stubborn Denial back up here, but I don't know how great that's going to be unless they go for something here. Okay. So, Thought Scour targeting themselves. So we're at that magical 7 that is a very important life total here. Alright, another Thought Scour, that's fine. Couple bolts in the main, huh? So definitely an interesting list. So we know they have Lightning Bolt and one other card, and they're gonna draw an extra card off the bobble. Now it's just, what can we do to be able to press our advantage while not dying to this Angler plus a Lightning Bolt? Not an easy feat. Not an easy feat. If we top deck a land, then we can go Stubborn Denial plus Stubborn Denial, Snapcaster Stubborn Denial, and then maybe we can get aggressive. Then actually, for sure, I think we can get aggressive, but... We'll see, because being able to do that unless we top deck one of our 2 basic lands, we're going to have to lose some life to do so. Opponent's deep in the tank. Okay. So what are they going for here? Probably just a shuffle to not draw that card. That's a great draw. That's a great draw. That allows us to get in there. All right. So they are very low. Now we're going to go with the second one. And that should lock it up. Now if they just bolt us, I think we have to take it. Fatal Push is what we have to counter. Alright, so if they attack, this would just be very weird. So I was assuming that was not going to be the case. Inquisition. I think I just Stubborn Denial this so they don't get a peek. And then we have Stubborn Denial, Snapcaster Stubborn after this. We'll take it. We'll take it. All right. Mirror match. They have lightning bolts. We do not. So in the mirror, I think ley lines are still good. Shutting down their angler is great. Liliana's seem very good. Culligan's commands seem pretty good as well. Maybe even EE. I think this is too many cards, so we're going to see here. We definitely want to hedge on if they leyline us, because you can't really do anything about a resolve leyline. Fatal Push is also very good. Dismember's very good. Jace, with them having Lightning Bolt, I think Jace is pretty bad. And now 4 more cards. Inquisition is bad, because we want to be able to hit anglers. And now maybe we'll cut 1 ley line and 1 EE, because EE is one of those cards where it could just be terrible. I'm not 100% positive on that one. Haven't had a lot of experience in the mirror match as of recently, but we got the 1 EE anyways, so I'm going to keep. Looks like they put us on the play, which I think is correct. We're going to bobble, see what we're drawing. Now here we want Liliana. That's an interesting one because it could be very bad. Yeah, I don't think that's what we want yet. I think we're going to just take the 2. All right. Motobug. Motobug. So Liliana, of course, is going to be excellent if we can resolve it. We will say go. They draw their card. We have another Death Shadow, which is not what we want. Now, I think we'll just say go. We could have EE'd, but no. Gonna be doing a big whopping nothing here for a turn or 2. Unless we draw a swamp and we can maybe stick a Liliana. That would, of course, be busted. Sticking a Planeswalker in this matchup is very good. Yep. Okay. Just have to say go. If they have an angler, they could do it now, but that's not great. One sack land unlocks these shadows. Yeah, now if they have the Angler plus the Stubborn Denials here, we're in a lot of trouble. It's down to 13. Guessing this is the Angler. We just can't do anything about it. We also would love for them to kind of attack. Wish we had a Dismember here. This would be, we'd be praying for an Angler. Okay. Nothing we can do about this. Okay. Horrible draw. They're top decking a land. We'll say go, doing nothing. Angler of our own. Okay, so we know about one card. Snapcaster. Okay. Thought season us. Yep. You got it. We got too much business here for us to ever fight over it. Oh, sorry, my head's kind of blocking the cards here. I'll get out of Angler's way. At least I'm transparent, right? So the view doesn't get too bad. You can see what's behind me. Alright, one of the Death Shadows is gone. Now, do they attack? That's the real question. And the real answer is yes. Now, we're gonna actually just Fatal Push this. We just have to. Okay, well, that was a good draw, probably. Alright. Death Shadow. We'll go with another Death Shadow. Or maybe this is supposed to be an Angler. It probably is. Just in case they have engineered explosives. Alright, now the shields are up. Yeah, they could have Snapcaster plus explosives there. So we know they have Bloodstained Mire. That's the only card we know for sure. Now we know nothing. I'll block. Ooh, we might be alright here. Ooh. Alright, now we're going to see what they're cooking with. We're just trying to resolve our Liliana here. So that was a very good draw, more than likely. Yep, got out what we wanted to get out. Drop a shadow. Okay. I'd be terrified if they would have taken the damage there. So they know my hand as well. This engineered explosive is quite bad. If we go to a game 3, I'll be taking that out. So now we have the option of Snapcaster plus Fatal Push, Snapcaster or Thoughtseize, or just go for the Liliana. We'll obviously base it on what they play. But there's a solid chance that we start getting aggressive next turn. Especially since maybe they're flooding here. I did not think we'd be in this game, let alone ahead. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Wow, another interesting draw. I still think it would be better to Snapcaster Thoughtseize. Yeah, I want to see what they're doing. Target you. Snapcaster of their own. Yep. It's pretty good. Yep. Bye-bye Fatal Push. Okay. Now I think since they're out of gas, I think we're supposed to get in there. So even if they block with their Snapcaster, nah, that seems bad. Okay. So now our hand is still much gassier than theirs. And I mean, honestly, if we would have Liliana'd instead, they just go Snapcaster Stubborn Denial. So I still think that was the right play, even though we didn't get a target. So they're just Thought Scour. They get a random target. They brought in E as well. Interesting. And they chose to be on the draw, so obviously they know how to play this matchup as well. So that makes me feel a little better. Not playing either of their lands. Interesting. Death Shadow. Ooh. Okay, well. Now we can go Liliana and play our own Death Shadow. Or we go EE for 1 and say go. Or we could Liliana the Last Hope, tick up on their Snapcaster, and EE for 1. I really like that. That way we get it into play. Plus, we start to progress. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 5. So they actually can only take one damage right now. So they can only make that a 6/6. I don't know if that's necessarily any valuable information, but yeah, I think we're just going to make the play I suggested. We're only going to take the swamp here. So we don't want to lose to a lightning bolt if we can help it. So Liliana. Kill. Wow. Actually, this might have been super bad. We're just dead to any removal spell. Yikes. Yikes. Oops. Hit the chair setting. Sorry about that. Maybe that's pretty bad. Because now we're just dead to a lightning bolt still. But Fatal Push. Ooh, that's not a lightning bolt. And we know there are other 2 cards. So they could attack for 7 if they would like. And they should because we have the EE. But we just block with the Snapcaster and then we don't really care. Then we just start bringing Death Shadows back. Okay. Gotta go block, block. Block, 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 block. Not bad, not bad. These mirrors are grindy. But even like Kolaghan's Command would just be busted as well. Now we know they have Bloodstained Mire and they have basically no target. They actually have no target. Oh my god, that draw was good. That draw was busted. Okay, so we sack this. Get our own Death Shadow and have protection for it. That's game. Alright, I would like death. I would like to shadow the death. Okay. Is this going to be large and in charge? Now, what do we lose to here? I guess another Death Shadow is annoying, but we don't lose. And that's game. That was lucky. That was lucky, but we got there. That was a great draw. All right, everybody. I want to thank you so much for watching the games here. This was an intense journey. Honestly, the 2 matches we lost, we kind of got savagely unlucky, at least in game 1s. And then, proceeded to win game 2 of both of them. And then game 3, I wouldn't say we got unlucky during any of them. There were maybe bad keeps, as well as didn't draw what we needed maybe. But yeah, I mean, I think Death Shadow is the real deal. Feel free to be checking out a couple of my VODs on my stream. I know I'm going to be playing a little bit of this deck on stream. If you want to see a little bit more live action, you can head over there to Twitch, to CoreyB_MTG. Check me out over there. And if not, stay tuned for the Deck Tech. And welcome to the Deck Tech, everybody. Okay, so we played some good matches. I think Modern's in a pretty healthy spot right now as far as the variety of decks you play against. It might not be in the best of spot as how high variant some of the matches are, but that's just going to happen when you have a bunch of very powerful cards in every deck. Top decks are going to really matter, and I mean, of course, that's going to bring some high variant situations, which we definitely saw throughout our matches, but either way, this deck is the real deal. It's here to stay. I think Sam Pardee did a phenomenal job at building a great cohesive strategy here. I want to break down a little bit of the combo or of the card choices here. For Baubles, this is a card I love. I mean, being able to have this plus a Sackland and a Street Wraith is all you really need to be able to look at the top, decide if it's good for your hand or not, and get that free value out where it's still cantripping. It's like not only a cantrip, but it manipulates the deck. So it's truly one of the most powerful cards. Speaking of one of the most powerful cards, this may be the most powerful card of the deck. This is one of the reasons to play the deck. We generate creatures that are 4 power or greater by as soon as turn 2, where you can back it up with this, and then you have a 1 mana counter spell, a hard counter spell on non-creatures. And I mean, in Modern, that's everything. There's some decks that are completely non-creatures where this hits literally everything. It's a phenomenal card. Thought Scour is the blue Dark Ritual. Playing this with a Grammatic Angler in your deck is a 1 mana Dark Ritual that replenishes itself. Absolutely insane. The key card, the Death Shadows. It's insane. I mean, this is obviously the reason to be playing the deck. We're just trying to kill ourselves very, very fast. Just barely leave ourselves alive where Death Shadow really takes over the game. And, I mean, the deck just does it so well. Everything is designed to do this. For Fatal Push, with all the Sacklands in our deck, this removal is a 1 mana, destroy target creature with converted mana cost of 4 or less. That hits every single relevant creature in the deck except like in the metagame except Primeval Titan, which, I mean, if they cast that, you're probably dead on the spot anyways. Killing it's not going to do much. So we'll move on. We have 6 hand disruption spells, 4 Thoughtseize being the best of the options since it does deal you 2 damage, which helps with the Death Shadows, and then 2 Inquisitions. You just want Thoughtseize number 5 and 6, and it is not as good, but it's what you have to do here. Tamer Battle Rage, this is a card that I've loved as a 2 of. It's just that extra thing that adds the combo element to this deck, where you can be playing against these slower decks and just all of a sudden have Tamer Battle Rage plus a Stubborn Denial, and all of a sudden they're at 0% to win. You just strap it on your creature and go to town. 3 Snapcaster, phenomenal cards. I don't have to say much about this. It does everything, costs 1 in our deck, so it really does everything. Dismember is one of the great removal spells here, if not the greatest. Dealing yourself a bunch of damage, making your Death Shadow grow bigger, as well as killing every relevant creature in the metagame right now, except Primeval Titan once again, is just great. Jace's Vryn's Prodigy is a card we haven't seen in a while, but it's a card that is really an all-star here. I mean, being able to flash back your Fatal Pushes, Thoughtseizes, stuff like that is really great, as well as drawing cards. there's a lot of tricks you can do with this card. Like, let's say you want to loot and you don't want it to flip. Like, you have anglers to get rid of the cards first and then loot, so you can just keep getting cards if it's more of a grindy matchup. Then we have Street Wraith here, a phenomenal way to get cards in your graveyard and deal damage to yourself. So Street Wraith is really the Death Shadow hallmark. It not only helps Chromatic Angler, but it also helps the Death Shadow, your 2 win conditions. And then, of course, we have Angler. Can't build the deck without it. I love the choice of playing 4. Once again, I'm going to scream it from the heavens. Sam Pardee did a phenomenal job with this list, and I'm super impressed. As far as the sideboard, Abrade. I've been playing a lot of Izzet Arclight Phoenix, and the 2 Abrade in the sideboard have been the best sideboard slot, so not surprised to see it transfer over to here, as well as the Kolaghan's Command for other artifact decks. Also, this card just, it has so many applications against everything. It's just a phenomenal card. Brutality, another way to stop burn decks. It's great there. Another way to just stop control decks, have another 7th and 8th Thoughtseize, as well as being able to kill creatures out of like an elf deck or something. The card's very versatile. And that's really what this deck is all about. Just saying all these cards do something against every matchup. Disdainful Stroke for big mana decks, Primeval Titan, Liliana against these grindy matchups in the mirror. Any deck that has X1s for creatures that you can eat up. Engineered Explosives comes in against a lot of things as well. Anytime you want to be a little bit more reactive. And then the hallmark card of the sideboard, Leyline of the Void, takes care of Izzet Arclight deck, Izzet Arclight, Dredge, and Death Shadows. Arguably the top 3 decks in the format. So I love having this as a 4 of. It's just so important having in your opener in those matchups. So I want to thank you so much for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed a little break to play Modern. We only got a 2-2 record here, so obviously we could have did a little better, but I did think we got a little robbed. Stay tuned next week for some more Droppin' Bombs action.